review, Fruits in Hebrew at the Old Country Grove by Sarah Mazor with illustrations by Benny Radiana. Welcome back to Hebrew Book Review. I'm Sapir, and today I'm talking about another Sarah Mazor book. This one is Fruits in Hebrew at the Old Country Grove. And this is a storybook, obviously meant for children. It's bilingual, so it's mostly in English, but the words for the fruits in Hebrew are kind of like embedded in the story. So I can't remember where I purchased this one, maybe at Amazon, but all of her books are available at mazorbooks.com, and that's probably the best place to get them. The book is 0% religious. It's just about a trip to a fruit stand. So there's no religious content in it anywhere, and it uses a really big font for the Hebrew. I mean, it's a pretty big font for the English as well, but the Hebrew is only written at the very top of the page that has a fruit on it, and so only the fruit words are written in Hebrew. They're also written in English letters as well, and but that font it's that typical Times New Roman font, but it's huge, so it's perfect for little eyes. It does use Ktiv Chaser, the traditional spelling, which, as I always say, that's very typical of books that are intended for children. And there is no cursive, so if your little learners don't know cursive, they will not have a problem here because there is no cursive anywhere in the book. So the little learner really does not need to know any Hebrew at all, or not even the letters or the nikud, because all of the words within the story are written in English letters, the Latin alphabet. And so they will be able to get through the story. If they read English, they'll be able to get through the story and pronounce the words that are the Hebrew words with no problem. It's right there embedded. If they do know their letters and their nikud, then the parent might want to cover up the transliteration with a sticky note to give them a little bit of reading practice as well. But really, the goal of this story and the goal of the book is to teach the words, to teach how to say all of these fruits in Hebrew. So basically what it is, it's a cute little story about Ami and Tommy, two siblings who go to the country grove with their grandmother to buy some fruits. I mean, that's basically the whole story. So basically they're waiting for their grandma to show up. Grandma shows up, they go, they buy fruits, and they go home. So once the family gets to the country grove and they start looking at their fruits, that's where kind of the meat of the learning comes in. Each page is dedicated to one fruit. So at the top of each page is the word written in Hebrew, and then a transliteration of the word, and then of course there's a picture of each fruit, and then a little like two sentences really about it. The whole thing is written in rhyme, and really it's all got the same structure. So for example, let's look at the banana page. Banana is a banana. Bananot are two or more. Is this monkey favorite fruit a treat that you adore? It's the exact same rhyme on every page. So tapuach, which is an apple. It says a tapuach is an apple. Tapuchim are 2 or more. Is this sweet or tangy fruit a treat that you adore? A rimon is a pomegranate. Rimonim are 2 or more. Is this multi-seeded fruit a treat that you adore? So you can see that basically it's doing the same thing. It tells you the singular word for the fruit, the plural word for the fruit, and then it gives a little description of the fruit, and then it asks, is this a treat that you adore? And as in all of Sarah Mazor's books, there is a little bit of extra information at the end. Here it gives like just the word for fruit in the singular and the plural. Here we've got also a table of all of the fruits in singular and plural, written in Hebrew and in the transliteration. Within the story, only the singular exists in the Hebrew letters. So it's kind of nice to also have them in the plural here in this table for the parents who don't quite know how to say everything or write it in the plural. Normally, Sarah will give a full explanation of the transliteration. In this book, she didn't do that. Whoa! She does at the very bottom of this page explain that the CH doesn't sound like ch, like in chips. Instead, it sounds like the ch. And she always says it like in Loch Ness. Of course, most Jewish people know the holiday Hanukkah, but of course not everybody who's going to read this book to their kids or with their kids is Jewish. So when I read this book with my son, he was 9 years old and already knew quite a bit of Hebrew. He was definitely able to read the actual Hebrew by himself, and he knew most of the fruits already. So this was just kind of a nice review, and it was a fun story. I mean, it just took us a single day to go through it and read the story, and it was a fun story. Benny Radiana's illustrations are always so kind of simple and fun and colorful, and so they definitely bring a lot to the book, and we had fun with it. So it would definitely be a great little addition to if you're doing a unit on fruits or even just on foods, or just standing on its own. It's a fun little story to read with your kids, at bedtime or whenever. My son's older now, but at the time we were in the habit of just reading together every single day. It wasn't usually at bedtime, but we did read together all the time. And so, because the book is mostly in English, it doesn't necessarily have to even be with a Hebrew unit. Your kid might not even be learning Hebrew, and they could just, enjoy the little story of twins going to the country grove with their grandma and picking out some fruits and learning even just about fruits in general in English. So I thought it was a fun story. It was a fun way to practice a little bit of reading, and the fun way to practice to remind ourselves all of the fruit words in Hebrew. The only thing that I think is a little bit lacking, and it's true in all of her books and not just Sarah's books, kind of almost everywhere that anybody is giving transliterations of Hebrew words, is that it does not show where the stress is. And so that can make it a little difficult a different stress makes a different word. One minimal pair that I'm thinking of that I have in mind is ochel, which means he eats, and ochel, which means food. And of course these are related words, but if you put the stress in the wrong place, it's gonna sound really weird. And so it, would be better if she indicated where the stress should be on these words, especially since a lot of fruit words they're loan words from foreign languages, and loan words are more likely to break the stress rules than native Hebrew words. But that's my only beef. Besides that, the story was really fun and cute, and so I definitely give it a thumbs up. All right, that was pretty simple. That's it for today. That was Fruits in Hebrew at the Old Country Grove by Sarah Mazor. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave it in the comments, and I will do my best to get back to you. And if you have a book that you'd like me to review, leave that in the comments, and I'll try to get my hands on it and do a review. Hit like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see more. See you next time.